Marking 2 years this week since COVID truly hit home. We take a look back at how far Dane County has come in fighting the pandemic.
Also, nearly half of all young children in Dane County who could be vaccinated still are not. Today, the Children's Museum in Madison is stepping up to help reduce that number.
And after weeks of waiting for overtime pay, some new hope for Madison School District hourly employees. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
2 years ago this week, life in Wisconsin and specifically in Dane County changed with the state's first confirmed case of COVID-19. We're taking a closer look at COVID statistics over those 2 years. As of today, there have been more than 1,330,000 cases reported in Wisconsin. More than 11,000 people have died from COVID over the past 2 years. And also in that time frame, health officials have conducted more than 7 million PCR tests and administered over 9 million COVID vaccines in the state.
It was January 31st, 2020 that Wisconsin had its first COVID case. We just didn't know it yet. Just a few days later, health leaders confirmed it. The fight against the virus, of course, continues today, but Brady Mallory shows us why health leaders say they are hopeful. Brady?
Well, 2 years ago, February 5th, UW Health confirmed that first case of COVID-19 in Wisconsin. And at the time, it was just the 12th confirmed case in the country. A lot has changed since then. 2020 was all about social distancing, incorporating masks, and just navigating the new world. In 2021, we focused on vaccines. Eligibility expanded beyond healthcare workers and the nation's most vulnerable people to eventually include everyone 5 years and up, which gave hope to many people. Dr. Jeff Pothoff says learning as much as we have has put us in a much better place moving forward.
That leaves me hopeful for a future where COVID-19 will probably never go away, but one that we'll be able to manage with, probably annual vaccinations that protect against the most common variants.
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi says managing all of this countywide has had its share of challenges.
Some people might say we did too much, some might say we didn't do enough, and others feel like we struck the right balance. I feel really proud of everyone in this community, who I worked with and who stepped up to move forward.
And once again, DHS says more than 1.3 million cases have been confirmed in Wisconsin and more than 11,000 people have died. Health leaders are still pushing for people to get vaccinated. More than 3.6 Wisconsinites have received at least one dose of a vaccine and more than 3.4 million completed a vaccine series.
Brady, thank you. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, temperatures will actually be above normal again for tomorrow. In fact, we could be up around 40 degrees, but a big winter storm will pass to our south, and for us, the main effect will be colder weather at the end of the week. Visible cloud track shows some sunshine that we had earlier today giving way to clouds coming in from the west. There'll be some breaks in the clouds from time to time, but nothing really too thick, at least as far as the clouds are concerned. You can see to our north and west there are some rain and snow showers into parts of northern Minnesota. The big storm will pass to our south, and we're kind of in between. Low temperatures this morning started out in the single digits above and below zero, the below zero temperatures north and west of Dane County. But temperatures right now are near their highs for the day, which are in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Wind chills right now are mainly in the teens to around 20 degrees as winds are out of the south, but temperatures will actually rise overnight. By tomorrow morning, we'll be in the middle 30s. Look for a high tomorrow of about 40 before temperatures start to fall in the afternoon. And when those temperatures fall, they're going to fall a ways. Will be very cold for Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have more on that in the forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Public health officials are urging everyone over the age of 5 to get vaccinated. PHMDC says 46% of 5 to 11-year-olds are unvaccinated in Dane County. That is the most unvaccinated age group by far. Health officials say while COVID symptoms tend to be milder in that age group, some children can still get very sick. If you would like to get your child to get the vaccine, the Madison Children's Museum is giving you that chance. The museum is hosting a vaccine clinic tonight until 7 o'clock. Children ages 5 through 11 will be able to get the Pfizer vaccine. After their shot, children will get some free playtime on the museum's second floor. The clinic is also offering adults vaccine or booster shots. Admission will also be free tonight for anyone getting vaccinated, and you can register online at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services website. Again, that clinic runs tonight until 7 o'clock.
As hospitalizations and COVID cases trend down in parts of the country, some health experts question whether the U.S. should consider easing guidance on mask wearing and social distancing. Daryl Forges has the latest.
Some uplifting news in the fight against COVID-19. Positive COVID-19 cases going in the right direction, downward. Johns Hopkins University reports positive cases have gone down 30% from a week ago. Hospitalizations also down 11% from a week ago, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. Some governors are ready to move on from the pandemic.
We need to move away from the pandemic, and we asked the president to help give us clear guidelines on how we can return to a greater state of normality.
Some states and cities are easing some restrictions. In Colorado, state public health officials removed the requirement that people must show proof of vaccination to attend public indoor events of more than 500 attendees in several counties, including Denver. San Francisco lifting mask mandates for the vaccinated for offices and gyms on Tuesday.
I certainly share the optimism that we're in a better place now, and we will be in a better place in a few weeks. But I don't think that means that we should take our foot off the accelerator.
On the vaccine front, Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine has received full approval from the FDA. And one expert says a vaccine for children under the age of 5 could be available by March.
And I'm hopeful that you could see some movement on trying to entertain that application earlier. Ultimately, the decision resides with FDA.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
Now, Johnson & Johnson has not yet applied for full approval of its single-dose COVID vaccine.
We're learning new details tonight about the victim of a fatal stabbing in Beloit over the weekend. Police say a 42-year-old Janesville woman was found stabbed to death Saturday near Howes Drive and Clary Street. Her death was ruled a homicide. A man who allegedly fled the scene of a crash and armed himself before a standoff with police is now facing charges. Madison police say the 27-year-old was involved in a crash on Milwaukee Street at Stoughton Road. A 65-year-old involved in the crash is in critical condition. Madison police say the suspect ran from the scene and armed himself inside a home on Belmont Road. The man was later arrested after a standoff. He faces multiple charges, including OWI and hit and run. Hourly employees in the Madison School District are struggling to make ends meet while waiting on weeks of overtime.
It started with a December hack of a national payroll system. Today, the school district tells us they have just finalized a temporary way to pay out. Naomi Coles explains.
Nationwide, NPR reported that about 8 million employees were affected by this hack. Many employers, however, have found ways to pay out overtime while waiting for the system to be fixed. But until this week, the Madison School District was not one of them. MMSD told employees the day after the attack on December 11th that they would not be paying out overtime until Kronos, the software, resolved the issue. That's according to internal documents employees and their union shared with me. So for weeks, employees have been foregoing hours of paid time.
I spoke with a single mother today of 2 who is a $19 an hour employee, and she indicated that she had an $1,800 car repair that she wasn't able to pay for, and she's making payments on. She's $800 an hour or $800 behind in her rent. And this is really all as a result of not being paid her hourly pay differential and the overtime that she's earned really since a couple weeks before Christmas.
Another employee you'll hear from at 6 o'clock told me she has coworkers waiting on more than 100 hours of overtime pay. All that could start getting paid out very soon. The district told me in an email today. More on that at 6 o'clock.
We will see you at 6. Thank you, Naomi. Second Harvest Food Bank of Southern Wisconsin announced a new round of grants today. The organization will be providing up to $200,000 to area groups or organizations. The goal is to increase food equity across Madison. It will also build strategies for distribution to make sure that everyone has access to nutritious and culturally significant food across the city.
Inequities in food insecurity in communities of color have always been there. We are seeing them even more, I think, during COVID, and not just in food insecurity, but that's what Second Harvest our mission is to end hunger in southwestern Wisconsin.
Grant request submissions range from $2,500 to a maximum of $75,000. Applications will be accepted for another 6 weeks. For more information, visit secondharvestmadison.org/grant.
A local diaper bank is getting help from the demobilizing refugee site at Fort McCoy. Lieutenant Mackenzie Hannon, who's in charge of the refugee site, reached out to the Village Diaper Bank here in Madison looking for a partner to help distribute 100,000 diapers and wipes. That's when American Family Insurance stepped in. The company sent an employee in a box truck to pick up the 15 pallets of diapers and deliver them back to Madison. The donations are worth over $25,000. All these diapers will be distributed in the community to families in need. Several historically black colleges and universities received bomb threats on campuses today. At least 7 schools, including Howard University in Washington, D.C. and Bowie State University, were placed under lockdown while police searched the campuses. No hazardous materials were found at any of the schools.
And I want to assure the parents and families who are watching that we have responded quickly. Law enforcement is here in force, and we're going to do everything we can to keep this campus safe.
Investigators are still trying to determine whether the threats were connected to each other.
Spotify and podcaster Joe Rogan are now speaking out about the controversy over COVID misinformation on the platform. Last week, musician Neil Young asked Spotify to remove his music after the company declined to get rid of Rogan's episodes that have been criticized for spreading virus misinformation. Other artists, including Joni Mitchell and Niels Lofgren, followed suit.
It's not about any censorship. We're all for free speech. We just don't want to be associated with misinformation and lies that are killing Americans.
If there's anything that I've done that I could do better is have more experts with differing opinions right after I have the controversial ones.
Spotify will now add content advisories before any podcast that discusses COVID and vaccines, something that Rogan says he agrees with.
Up next at 5, tensions continue between Russia and Ukraine.
And now the UN Security Council is getting involved. What world leaders have to say about the conflict after the break. And later, a new COVID subvariant is becoming the dominant strain in some parts of the world. Coming up at 6, why U.S. health officials say there is no need to panic.
And a strong start to the week on Wall Street. The Dow jumping more than 406 points today. The Nasdaq surges more than 469. S&P adds 84. We will be right back.
Who's on it with Jardiance?
We're 25 million prescriptions strong.
We're managing type 2 diabetes and heart risk.
We're working up a sweat before coffee and saying no thanks to a Boston cream.
Jardiance is a once-daily pill that can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease. So it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And Jardiance lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
We're on it.
We're on it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Get organized with help from Menards. Whether you need extra storage or want to add an accent to your living space, Dakota Shelving has the perfect solution with a variety of sizes and 8 attractive finishes. Right now, an 8-foot-long, 11 3/4 by 3/4 inch shelf is just $9.99 after $5 rebate. Keep your space tidy with Designer's Image Cube storage shelves. Get an 11-inch fabric drawer free after rebate now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you overloaded with debt? 13 may be your lucky number. No interest Chapter 13 debt repayment. Protect your assets, pay your debts, get a lower payment that you can afford. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Chapter 13 repayment plans start at only $275 a month. To see if you qualify, on your phone, from your home, statewide, call now or visit us online. Hit the debt-free button. Click or call now.
Dinosaur Adventure roars into Madison. One weekend only. Alliant Energy Center. With life-size dinosaurs and massive family fun. Experience the thrill of the prehistoric age. Featuring the ferocious T-Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptor, and more. Go on a realistic fossil dig. Take a ride on your favorite dinosaur. Bounce around in the prehistoric playground. And a baby dinosaur meet and greet. Take an amazing dinosaur adventure. This weekend only. Alliant Energy Center. Tickets at dinosauradventure.com.
Tonight at 6, almost 1,000 Madison School District employees have gone a whole year working overtime and not getting paid for it.
We find out why they are not getting paid and what the district is doing to fix the problem. That's coming up at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team is here for you, exposing scams, mediating consumer disputes, and getting results. Contact us by phone or on channel3000.com.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
We're taking action for you.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back, everyone. The United Nations Security Council convened today to hear from Russian and Ukrainian representatives as tensions continue between the two countries. Skylar Henry has the details.
The situation we're facing in Europe is urgent and dangerous.
The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, spoke forcefully at a UN Security Council meeting as she called on Russia to de-escalate tensions with Ukraine.
We do not want confrontation, but we will be decisive, swift, and united should Russia further invade Ukraine.
It's estimated that more than 100,000 Russian troops have amassed along the country's border with Ukraine. Russia pushed back against that number during Monday's meeting and repeatedly denied it plans to attack.
There, however, is no proof confirming such a serious accusation whatsoever being put forward. However, it is not preventing people from whipping up hysteria.
The Kremlin must remember that Ukraine is ready to defend itself.
Ukraine's envoy called for diplomacy, even as its military prepares for a possible invasion. Adding to those fears is the surge of Russian troops and equipment into neighboring Belarus for military exercises. In a statement, President Biden called the UN Security Council meeting a, quote, critical step in rallying the world to speak out in one voice.
With Russia's continuing its buildup of its forces around Ukraine, we are ready no matter what happens.
The White House has threatened coordinated sanctions with its allies should Russia attack and says it's working with lawmakers as members of the U.S. Senate prepare its own set of sanctions. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
A State Department spokesman says tomorrow U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will hold a phone call with the Russian foreign minister.
Millions out east are facing an icy commute today after a brutal weekend of wild weather. A nor'easter brought heavy snow, howling winds, coastal flooding to much of the Northeast. Satellite images of the East Coast show snow stretching from Maine all the way down to the Carolinas. Blizzard conditions reported in at least 6 states, and more than 2 feet of snow fell in at least 3 of those states.
We have high winds before, we've had high tides before, but it's the wind, it's the tide, it's the snow, it's everything all at once.
There have been at least 4 deaths connected to that storm.
Let's get a look at our certified most accurate weather now. Another big storm, Gary, is going to be very close to us.
But fortunately for us, it'll be to the south. And the big effect for us is that we'll see colder weather midweek. 3 things you need to know in the forecast before that storm arrives. Look for a mild day tomorrow. In fact, steadier rising temperatures tonight will lead to high temperatures around 40 degrees for tomorrow. But then we'll turn breezy and colder beginning tomorrow night into Wednesday. Temperatures will drop to the lower teens by early on Wednesday morning and stay in the mid to upper teens on Wednesday during the day. There could be a couple of flurries south of Madison, but for the most part, we're just going to stay cloudy. And then it'll be very cold for Thursday and Friday with nighttime low temperatures near or even below 0 and wind chills at times as cold as 15 or 20 below 0 in the morning. High temperatures will only be in the teens. On Doppler track, one part of the storm is moving up to the north. It's even bringing a mix of rain and snow into parts of North Dakota, but eventually that will change over to snow, and there could be the potential for some strong winds as well as blowing snow, even though the snow totals there will probably only be a couple of inches. So there are winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories there. To the south, though, one of the computer models showing very heavy snow, perhaps as much as a foot of snow or more from about South Bend, Indiana to the south and east. The other longer range computer model, pretty much the same story, maybe as much as 18 inches over parts of central Indiana. But notice that sharp northern cutoff. Very little snow across southern Wisconsin, mostly just flurries south to Madison. There could could be a couple of inches close to Lake Michigan and far southeastern Wisconsin, but that'll be mainly lake effect snow. Nothing for us, but again, winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories to the north and west, and winter storm watches and warnings to the south and east. In fact, you can see the winter storm watches extend from southern Kansas and most of Oklahoma all the way up into the northern portions of the New England area, and winter storm warnings already in effect for areas south of Chicago. This area across Kansas and Oklahoma, temperatures are in the 60s today, and they have winter storm watches for Wednesday. So that is a dramatic drop there in temperatures. We'll see our temperatures warm up a little bit for tomorrow, but again, the big effect for us is just going to be a change toward colder weather. Notice the jet stream starting to buckle a little bit out to the west. This is the storm system that'll start driving colder air south, colliding with that warm and humid air with thunderstorms in Texas and the Gulf Coast. All of that comes together to create the winter storm down to the south. But right now, we're watching a warm front to the west that will come in during the evening hours and actually cause our temperatures to rise. So we're in the upper 20s now. We'll probably be in the mid-30s by early tomorrow morning and around 40 for tomorrow afternoon. Look for a high temperature, again, of 40. It'll be breezy during the day with temperatures starting to fall off a little bit late in the afternoon. And then, notice on Wednesday, a high of 17. So that's a big drop, but just a few flurries south of Madison. Temperatures very cold all the way through the early part, into the early part of the weekend. But notice next week, temperatures pretty close to normal or even a little bit above normal, and no precipitation expected, at least at this point. As we take a look at first warn traffic right now, here's the view of the Beltline at Park Street. Traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. Not seeing any problems or delays on the Beltline, I-39, 90, 94 on the east side of Madison or any of the major highways around Dane County. Travel times on the Beltline, the usual 15 minutes in either direction between University Avenue and the interstate. From the Beltline to Janesville on I-39, 90 southward, that'll take you 25 minutes. Middleton to Sauk City on US 12 is a quick 16-minute commute. Downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151 will take you 17 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. We've all felt the impact of higher prices at the grocery store. Just ahead, what's causing that and how you can find a few places to save. That's coming up next at 5.
Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Fixed. No charge.
Ah, that's my son. He always takes care of his mama.
Ooh, what's up with Granny's casserole?
It's for after your Uncle Joe's funeral. My brother didn't have a life insurance policy.
I hear there's a collection to help Aunt Adele.
Yeah, a funeral costs north of $9,000 these days. That's a hefty bill for family to pay if there's no life insurance check to help.
Wow. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Which reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you, I got that $9.95 plan from Colonial Penn. I'm on a fixed income, so price is important.
The life insurance on TV.
Just $9.95 a month to help you pay my funeral expenses. What about your family, son? You've got a wife and kids, and a grandson living with you now, too.
Maybe I should get the $9.95 plan, too. Thing is, this has been a rough year for my business, Ma. Money's tight. Still, for $9.95 a month, I don't have a good excuse, do I?
I'm Jonathan for Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. If you're age 50 to 85, just $9.95 a month buys whole life insurance with guaranteed acceptance. You cannot be turned down for any health reason. There are no health questions. Guaranteed lifetime coverage. Your insurance can never be canceled. Just pay your premiums. Guaranteed lifetime rate lock. Your rate can never increase. It's locked in as soon as you're covered and stays the same for the rest of your life. With guarantees like these, it's no surprise the $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life insurance.
Now don't forget to wear your good suit tonight. And please call about the $9.95 plan today while it's on your mind, okay?
Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-505-7613 for free information and your free beneficiary planner. No obligation. 1-800-505-7613. That's 1-800-505-7613. Call now.
At the Burrish Group at UBS, we believe in empowering women to take control of their financial security with a team of female advisors who understand the needs and goals of women. We believe you can achieve anything you put your mind to and can help you stay ahead of life's expected and unexpected events. Give our team a call today to start the conversation.
If you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pills and inferior technology that hurts and just masks your ED. Fix it for good. The best part, our ED treatment is non-invasive, painless, and you can get back to your natural functionability after just a few short in-office sessions. Call us today and mention this ad, and your initial consultation is free. We are Madison's trusted specialist and only national erectile dysfunction provider. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, we all know that Americans are taking quite the hit at the grocery store.
Inflation, supply chain issues, and impacts of the Omicron variant are driving up the cost of food. Gabe Cohen has the details.
It's real tough.
For Mike Crowder, finding affordable food has been difficult. He's battling cancer and living on a tight budget.
It's hard for me to get out here and work and be around people. Sometimes, you just have to do without some things to eat.
Grocery costs keep climbing on everything from meat to seafood, produce, cereal, and much more, with overall prices up 9% from a year ago.
It feels like I'm paying a lot more at the register when I finally do check out.
Now, big-name brands are raising prices. Kraft Heinz is the latest, announcing hikes on Velveeta cheese, Oscar Mayer meats, coffee, and Kool-Aid, joining General Mills, Campbell's Soup, and Procter & Gamble, which is raising the price of Tide laundry products.
So they put off as long as possible, and now we're going to feel the effect of that for the next few months.
The entire food supply chain is facing surging costs, congestion, and a labor shortage, which have hardly improved. The number of cargo ships parked off the California coast hit a record high in January, with more than 100 still waiting, even after the ports unloaded 13% more containers than ever before in 2021. The cost of ingredients, packaging, and transportation keeps skyrocketing.
The extraordinary cost pressure that we're seeing across all different businesses right now is landing in that last resort, and that's why you're seeing the inflation.
And Omicron is adding to it, peeling workers from warehouses, processing facilities, and grocery stores. This month, U.S. pork production dropped 8% in just a week, with staff sick or quarantined. With fewer employees, distributors are cutting orders to some grocery stores by 20 to 40%.
It's been whack-a-mole. It's one item one day and then, a completely different segment the next.
And demand for groceries keeps surging, with people stuck at home and inflation at a 39-year high.
A lot of times you're limited with what you can get.
A recent survey found 37% of customers are very concerned about shortages seen on items like pet food, paper goods, and cream cheese.
There's just not as many things on the shelves.
Experts are projecting more grocery price hikes in the months ahead.
To save money, they suggest looking for sales flyers before shopping and joining store loyalty programs.
And they also suggest planning meals around cheap filling items like rice and beans, as well as shelf-stable ingredients like frozen vegetables. Stay with us for a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 5.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
An iCare benefit card helps our members access even more. This includes a monthly allowance for OTC items and healthy food purchases. Plus, earn more with healthy rewards. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
What are you recommending for muscle pain?
Based on clinical data, I recommend Salonpas.
Agreed. My patients like these patches because they work up to 12 hours, even on moderate pain.
Salonpas, it's good medicine.
How much money have you wasted trying to find the right shade of foundation to match your skin tone? You end up with so many unused bottles, yet you can't bear to throw them out. Now, there's Color of Beauty self-adjusting foundation, which means you'll never search for the perfect shade again.
It's really difficult for me to find a good tone foundation
foundation, I usually purchase about 3 or 4 and sometimes mix them. Color Beauty is a game changer in finding the right foundation. You put it on your skin and it transforms into your own skin tone.
The Color Beauty foundation is so simple to put on. My skin looks great and it just looks awesome.
The key to the innovative Color Beauty formula is tiny color beads that release and blend to perfectly match your skin tone as you apply it. The foundation is white when it comes out of the bottle, but when I begin to apply it, it adjusts to blend perfectly with the color of my skin.
My biggest problem area is my cheeks right here. Color Beauty feels really light on my skin, and I can tell that it is pretty full coverage, so it looks like I don't have too much foundation on, but it is covering all my acne scars like I was saying before. I actually really love it.
It's weightless and it's full coverage, and also it literally just matches my skin as soon as I put it on. It's no work. I've never experienced a foundation like this.
Color Beauty only comes in 2 colors, light and medium. If you have fair skin or you burn easily, go with the light. If you have darker skin, go with the medium. Plus, with an SPF of 50, they're getting the highest level of sun protection in a lightweight formula. And best of all is Color Beauty's exclusive special. Order this Valentine's Day and get 40% off. That means you'll get the color adjusting foundation, the skin smoothing primer, and the fan favorite lash enhancer for thicker, longer looking lashes at 40% off. Plus, get free shipping. Visit color40.com or call the number on your screen.
Before we leave you at 5, a final check of the weather with Gary.
Well, pretty quiet out here right now. Skies are mostly cloudy. Temperatures are not all that cold. We're at 29 right now in Madison, 30 in Janesville. These temperatures may only fall another degree or 2 before they start rising overnight. Wind chills right now are in the teens thanks to winds, but those winds are out of the south, and they'll actually warm us up for tonight. So by tomorrow morning, we'll be in the mid-30s. Look for a high tomorrow of around 40 shortly after noon. Then temperatures start to drop off, and they really drop off for the rest of the week. Temperatures only in the teens for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then next week looks pretty normal.
All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.